What's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing a Blue Eyes White Dragon deck profile. So I'm really excited to do some for you guys because we just got some amazing support for this deck out of the new Blue Eyes Structure deck, which is going to take this deck to a whole new level. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of Notification Squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 2 copies of the Blue Eyes White Dragon. Blue Eyes White Dragon is an amazing 2-of in the build, but it's so easy to get to in this deck that I feel like 2 copies is really all you need. But this card is such a nostalgic card, and it's amazing that Blue Eyes is going to be meta because of this awesome new structure deck. We then play a single copy of Jet Dragon. I really like 1 copy of Jet Dragon in this deck because it's so easy to get to. It helps you deal with cards on the field, and it's super easy to summon out to your side of the field, and even protects your other cards. We then play 3 copies of Maiden of White. Maiden of White is definitely a 3-of in the build because this card makes it super easy to synchro summon into Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon. With the ability, you can actually send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard to place a True Light from your hand, deck, or graveyard face up in your spell and trap card zone. And if you special summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon while this card's in the graveyard, you can special summon this card, which is an amazing ability to instantly bring this card back to your side of the field, so you can use this and Blue Eyes White Dragon to go in for an awesome copy of Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon. We then play 3 copies of Sage with Eyes of Blue. Sage with Eyes of Blue is definitely a 3-of in the build because this card is the best normal summon in the entire deck. Is when this card is normal summon, you actually get to add a level 1 light tuner monster from your deck to your hand, which can be your copy of Maiden that you instantly add to your hand so you can go full combo. You can also discard this card and then target an effect monster that you control, send to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon a Blue Eyes monster from your deck, which is a crazy powerful effect to instantly get a monster out on your side of the field. We then play 3 copies of the Primite Dragon. This card is insane as a 3-of in the build, and is an insane normal summon, because if this card is normal summon, you can actually set a Primite spell or trap card from your deck, which instantly gets you your copy of Lordy Load, and you can even link this card away for the new Blue Eyes Link monster, which is absolutely amazing. This card is crazy powerful in the deck, and you actually get to add this card back to your hand during the standby phase, which is a crazy powerful ability, so you can do it over and over again. We then play a single copy of Magnemite. Magnemite is really good as a 1-of in the build to be able to use because this card is just a really good hand trap. It lets you target a light or dark monster in either player's graveyard and banish it. If you do, special summon this card from your hand, and it's a quick effect if your opponent controls a monster. And if this card is special summoned, you can actually activate this effect that during the end phase of this turn, you get to add a dragon monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand, which is a great ability to instantly get to your copy of Primite Dragon, so you can go full combo on the follow-up. We then play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom's definitely a 3-of build to basically just stop your opponent from touching the deck. We also play 3 copies of Effect Veiler. Effect Veiler is great in this build to basically just stop your opponent's monster effects. And also, this card is actually searchable in this build. You can actually search this card off your copy of Sage, or you can actually search this copy of this card off your copy of Wishes, which is insane that you can actually search it 2 different ways in this build. So it's one of the best hand traps in this entire deck. We then also play 3 copies of Nibiru. Nibiru is really good in this deck because it's super easy to out and basically just breaks your opponent's board, and it's a really good 3-of in this deck. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get in to the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start with a single copy of Called by the Grave. Call by the Grave is really good as a 1-of in the build to basically just stop your opponent from hand trapping you, or you're going in for all of your plays. We then play a single copy of Roar of the Blue-Eyed Dragons. This card is insane as a one-of in the build and has a really cool ability to let you special summon in defense position a Blue Eyes monster from your deck, graveyard, or banishment. But if you control no Blue Eyes White Dragon, you can only special summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon with this effect. Also, you cannot special summon from the X deck for the rest of the turn except dragon monsters. You can also banish this card from your graveyard to be able to fusion summon a fusion monster from your X deck using monsters from your hand or field, including a Blue Eyes monster, to help you go in for your fusion plays. This card is amazing as a one-of in the build. It's just such a powerful card in this deck to help you bring out a Blue Eyes to your side of the field, and also be able to use this card basically as a polymerization. We then play a single copy of Mausoleum of White. Mausoleum of White basically gives us an additional normal summon of a level 1 light tuner monster, which is a great effect to instantly bring out an additional monster out to our side of the field. Plus, this card is searchable off our new Link 1 monster, and it also has the ability that you can target a face-up monster that you control, send a null monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard, and if you do, the targeted monster gains attack and defense equal to the level of that monster sent to the grave times 100, which is a great effect till you send Blue Eyes White Dragon to the graveyard, and then tribute your copy of your Link 1 monster to be able to bring out a Blue Eyes to your side of the field. This card is an awesome combo piece in the deck, but you only need a single copy in this build because it is searchable. We then play a single copy of Ultimate Fusion. Ultimate Fusion is a really neat one-of in the deck that helps you go in for your fusion plays, and I really like this card in the deck because it helps you recycle your resources to help you go in for more fusion plays in this deck. We then play a single copy of Drill Beam. Drill Beam is great as a one-of in the build, just to basically help you banish cards, and it's a really good one-of in the deck to be able to search this card to basically use it as an interruption. We then play 3 copies of Lordy Lobe. Lordy Lobe is amazing in this deck as a 3-of, and it's so easy to be able to get to your copy of your Primite cards, as when you activate this card, you can add a Primite card from your deck to your hand, except another copy of this card, and it can also help you special summon your Blue Eyes directly from your deck or graveyard in defense, which is such a powerful effect. We then play 3 copies of Wishes for Eyes of Blue. This card is insane as a 3-of in the build. This card lets you discard a card and then add a level 1 light tuner and a spell or trap that mentions Blue Eyes White Dragon from your deck to your hand, except another copy of this card. You can also banish this card from your graveyard and then target a Blue Eyes White Dragon you control and equip 1 Blue Eyes monster from your X deck to it as an equip spell that gives it 400 attack points, which is a crazy powerful effect. But this card is amazing as a 3-of, because you can even search Effect Veiler off this card because it searches any level 1 light tuner and a spell or trap that mentions it, meaning you can basically search anything that you need, which is amazing. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get in to the traps. So for the traps, we're going to start with a single copy of Majesty of the White Dragons. This card is an amazing one-of in the build to help you pop multiple cards on the field, letting you show up to 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons in your hand face up in the monster zone or in the graveyard, and destroy an equal number of cards your opponent controls, which is a great ability to help you pop multiple cards on the field. We then play a single copy of True Light. True Light is a really good one-of in the build because it is searchable in this deck, so I feel like 1 copy is really all you need because you can easily get to this card with your copy of Maiden. So this card is really good in the deck to help you bring back your copy of Blue Eyes from the hand or the graveyard out to your side of the field, or set a spell or trap directly from your deck that specifically lists Blue Eyes White Dragon in its text with a different name from the cards you control and in your graveyard, which is such a powerful ability. The only downside of this card is if this face-up card is sent from the spell and trap guard zone to the graveyard, destroy all monsters that you control, which is the only downside of this card's effect. We then play 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. Infinite Impermanence is definitely a 3-of in build to basically just stop your opponent's monster effects and also lock down entire columns of spells and traps. We then play 3 copies of Dominus Purge. Dominus Purge is great as a 3-of in the build because this card is basically 3 more copies of Ash Blossom, and this card does turn off the effects of dark, water, and fire monsters for the rest of the duel, but you can always set this card out to your side of the field to basically just activate it to be able to not even worry about that effect. But if you activate this card directly from your hand, it will turn off the effects of dark, water, and fire monsters, but we can play this deck without those cards. The only main deck when we really play is Magnuma, and it's unlikely that you're going to see both in the same duel, but it's really good in the deck to be able to use to basically just use it as a second copy of Ash Blossom. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get in to the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to start off with a single copy of Blue Eyes Ultimate Spirit Dragon. This card is an amazing one-of in the build, and it's so powerful in this deck. It has the ability that your opponent cannot banish cards from your graveyard, basically turning your opponent's bestial monsters off from banishing cards from our graveyard. Also, when a card effect is activated on the field, quick effect, you can negate the activation, and if you do, this card gains 1,000 attack points until the end of the turn, pushing this card to 4,500 to match a Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. This card also has the ability that if this card is destroyed by battle by card effect, you can special summon a light dragon monster from the graveyard except to copy this card, which is such a powerful effect. We then play 3 copies of Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon. Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon is an amazing card in this build. You could probably just play 2 if you wanted to, but I really like playing 3 copies of this card because you can tag into so many different targets in this deck. With this card's ability, neither player can special summon 2 or more monsters at the same time, and once returned during either player's turn, when an effect is activated in the graveyard, you can actually negate the activation, and during either player's turn, you can tribute this synchro summon card to special summon a light dragon type synchro monster from your extra deck in defense position, except another copy of this card, but destroy it during the end phase of this turn. We then play a single copy of Lightstorm Dragon. Lightstorm Dragon just helps you basically pop back row, because if it's special summon, you can actually target spells and traps on the field up to the number of normal monsters in the graveyard +1 and destroy them, and if this card is destroyed by battle by card effect, you can write a spell or trap in your graveyard and set it, but it cannot be activated unless you control a normal monster. But this card is great in the build as a one-of to basically just help you deal with back row. We play a single copy of the Crimson Dragon. Crimson Dragon helps us tag into our copy of Cosmic Blazar Dragon, which is basically a negate. You can play the copy of Stardust Divine Dragon instead of this card if you want to, but I really like Cosmic Blazar Dragon in this build. This card is basically a negate, and it's just really good in the build to be able to summon out to your side of the field because it's such a powerful card, and it's so easy to negate cards on the field with this card's effect. We then play a single copy of Abyss. I really like Abyss in this deck as a one-of because it's just a really powerful card overall in this deck to basically summon out to your side of the field as a negate using your copy of the Crimson Dragon. The only time you don't want to summon this card out to your side of the field is if you've activated your copy of Purge. It will turn this card off, which is a little bit of a downside, but it's still really good in the deck as a one-of. It's basically just tag into this card if you want to with your copy of Crimson Dragon, but it is an option in the deck. We then play a single copy of Black Rose Moonlight Dragon. Moonlight Dragon is really good to basically deal with level 5 or higher monsters, and it's basically a balance for those cards. We play a single copy of Tyrant Dragon. Tyrant Dragon helps us recover our trap cards and can attack all monsters that your opponent controls, which is such a powerful ability. This card is really easy to be able to bring out to your side of the field in this deck. It's just a really awesome one-of. We play a single copy of Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. This card is a really interesting card in this deck and a really cool card to be able to play. We play a single copy of Typhon. Typhon is an awesome bounce in this deck and is an awesome card to be able to play in this build because our big boss monster actually has 3,000 attack points, but it's a vanilla monster. So you can actually use this card as a skill drain for 3,000 or higher attack point monsters, but it's a really good going second card just in case you need to out a certain card on the field, and it's a really good bounce. We play a single copy of Hieratic Seal. Hieratic Seal is great to basically tag this card out for the exact card you need while also bouncing a card off the field. And then finally we play 2 copies of Spirit with Eyes of Blue. Spirit with Eyes of Blue is a great 2-of in the build and basically just searches out your copy of Mausoleum when it's summoned out to your side of the field. And also you can actually send this card to the graveyard by tributing it and then special summon a Blue Eyes monster from your hand or grave, which you can, if you special summon an effect monster, it cannot attack and its effects are negated, which is the only downside of this card, but it's amazing to help you bring out your Blue Eyes so you can bring out Maiden, and then Singer summon to Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon. So, that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed. This deck is an amazing deck to be able to play, and it's really cool that Blue Eyes has some really good support out of the new Blue Eyes White Destiny structure deck, and this deck is so fun to be able to play. It's really amazing how well the support has taken this deck to a whole new level, and actually made this deck a really good meta contender, and one of the best decks to play this format. So, that's good for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell in there so you can become part of notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.